AI engineering is one of the fastest growing jobs of 2025. Let us talk about the AI engineering role. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Nello. I'm a founder who loves to talk about tech, data, and AI. If you like this video, you are going to love my newsletter. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, as well as use the link in my bio to join my newsletter. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about AI engineering. Now, I want to say that I do not work as an AI engineer. The most I have come to AI engineering is number one, we did implement an AI solution internally with my startup. So I was able to learn about RAGs and just how to apply AI for a small business, because I consider like my startup a small business. However, when you are thinking about AI engineering on a big scale for big companies, I imagine that the requirements are going to be different. Do not forget that for like most of these big companies, they have thousands of employees, and so you're going to be creating a solution that is going to be used in production. And what I have noticed for most of these companies is that the responsibilities of an AI engineer at Microsoft might differ from the responsibilities of an AI engineer at Google or HP or Bank of America or whatever the big corporation you end up working with is. So the responsibilities differ, but what I'm going to do based off of the interviews that I have done and just kind of the solution that we implemented alongside and also research, I'm going to share with you guys the fundamentals and the things that I think you should focus on, and just even explaining what an AI engineer does. So there are so many resources online that you can use to educate yourself on the AI engineering role if you're interested in it. But from my own research and my expertise and what I know about this industry, programming is one of the basic things that you need. The AI engineering role is not a non-technical role. So if you're someone that doesn't want to code, you don't have any kind of hard skills at all, you have absolutely no business working in the AI engineering role. What you need for the AI engineering role, you need programming, you need statistics, you need linear algebra, you need to understand the fundamentals. You can't skip the fundamentals when it comes to AI engineering, because you require it to build those really difficult AI pipelines, especially if you're working on a generative AI pipeline. Like one of the projects I worked on was a generative AI pipeline, and I needed to understand LangChain, I needed to understand what a context is, I needed to understand basically those AI and ML frameworks in order to be able to use that to build the solutions for these companies. So you definitely need to know big data technologies, you need to know all the algorithms and frameworks, you need to know probability, statistics, linear algebra, and programming. And what that tells me is that if you already have these fundamentals, you're a maths major, you're a computer science major, you've worked as a data engineer, so you know how to code, you're working as an analyst, so you know how to code in Python, SQL, you have strong transferable skills into the AI engineering role. Now, this is not a role that someone who's a project manager can transfer into, because you're going to need to do a lot more upskilling. I'm not saying that you can't, but you're just going to have to do a bit more work than someone who's a data engineer who kind of already understands how the infrastructure works, and it's so easy for them to transfer that into the AI engineering role. So just something that you should note. Their responsibilities are to create and manage AI development and production infrastructure, conduct statistical analysis and interpret the results to guide and optimize the organization's decision-making process, automate AI infrastructures. For the data science team, you might work really closely to the data science team if you are an AI engineer. You're going to build AI models from scratch and help product managers and stakeholders with analysis and implementation, transform machine learning models into APIs that can be integrated into other applications, collaborate across teams to help AI adoption and best practices. So there are so many ways that you will be able to add value if you have AI engineering skills. From my own personal experience, the AI engineering role is something that you can pick up quickly, especially if you already have the background. Like I said, if you've done data engineering, you've done data analytics, you've done analytics engineering, or you just know how to code, you're straight out of college, I think that this is a role that would be a really good fit. If you're just straight out of college, you might just need to work on a project here and there, and that would potentially help you to be a really good candidate for an AI engineering role. I want to talk about the differences between an AI engineer and a data engineer. These two roles are very, very different. And I also want to say that just because there's a new role that is hot, It does not mean that data engineers are no longer in demand. It does not mean that data analytics is no longer in demand. Analytics is always going to be there. People are always going to want reports. And the organizational structure is so complex, like an actual corporation is so complex that there's so much nuances that they're definitely going to need analysts. There's so much nuances, they're definitely going to need engineers. So I want you to like block out all the noise that you see online. If you're in the job market, just lock in and go for what you want to do. I'm going to talk about the differences between the data engineer role and the AI engineer role because they are not similar at all, but I know a lot of people might be conflicted on if to do data engineering or AI engineering. Data engineering, think about them like the people that hold the data infrastructure. I've talked about the data engineering role in the previous video, so if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. They hold the data infrastructure. What does that mean whether they hold data infrastructure? Their core is data, right? They are not building an AI solution. What do I mean when I say their core is data? Building pipelines, moving data from point A to B, making sure that all the systems that needs the data actually has the data. They can do what we call reverse engineering by taking data and putting it into a system instead of putting data out of a system. There's so many things about data engineering that you need to learn. Then what the AI engineers do is they handle the AI infrastructure itself. So they are not building data pipeline. Remember, like I say all the time, artificial intelligence is very much different from a chat box. There are so many other artificial intelligence solutions. Like in finance, you can do fraud detection. In medicine, there's so many ways that they apply these things. So what the AI engineers do is they're the ones that are handling that artificial intelligence process and the pipeline. So when you think about it, they're the ones that are building and maintaining the artificial intelligence model, not necessarily the pipeline. So the pipeline is different, the model is also different as well. So if you're interested in working in a role that requires you to manage and maintain artificial intelligence, the AI engineering role is good for you. If you're interested in a role that helps you manage and maintain the data infrastructure, not the AI infrastructure, but the data infrastructure, data engineering is going to be a good fit for you. Now, one thing I want you to note is that the AI is usually trained on the data, right? So artificial intelligence is trained on the data, so they kind of work hand in hand. So you might see an AI engineer work really closely with a data team, or a data scientist work really closely with someone on the AI team. It really just depends, right? They work really closely hand in hand together. I hope that brings you a lot more clarity on what the difference between a data engineer and an AI engineering is. Again, the data engineer and the AI engineer roles differ, but they do work really closely hand in hand. Do not forget to leave me a comment if you're interested in joining my training platform completely for free. What you do get is access to all our training materials. If you're new here, my name is Nello. I am a founder who loves to talk about tech, data, and AI. If you have questions around technology, data, AI, happy to answer your questions. Do not forget, use link in my bio to join my newsletter, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.